Manager Alex Smith's become the SPL's first managerial casualty of the season. New chairman Eddie Thompson announced the sacking this afternoon, bringing Smith's two-year term in charge to an abrupt end. Susan Nicholson reports on yet another day of turmoil at Tannadice.
Less than 2 weeks after taking the reins of power at Dundee United, new chairman Eddie Thompson wielded the axe.
Dundee United today announced that they have terminated the contract of their manager Alex Smith.
Moments later, Alex Smith took to the steps at Tannadice to give his reaction to the not altogether unexpected news.
Disappointed. I must admit that. You're always disappointed. Football's my life. You're always disappointed, but you've got to accept it.
Speculation had been mounting that 61-year-old Smith was on his way. A string of poor results had left the club second bottom of the SPL. Saturday's 2-1 defeat by Hibernian sealed his fate. Thompson had set a deadline for the weekend: win or you're out.
You've got to draw a line sometime, and although we've got a lot of good youngsters, we can't have a good team of youngsters sitting at the bottom league, and I've got to think of the Dundee United Football Club and the supporters in total here, and that's what I've thought of today.
Having replaced Paul Sturrock 2 years ago when the club was flirting with relegation, Smith's aim was to get the zest back into the Tangerines. While he did keep the club in the top flight, his team-building aspirations were hampered by a string of boardroom changes, which have seen him manage under 4 different chairmen.
I know I'd turn this round, and the reason why I know is that the talent that's here, the young players. I mean, we've already got 2 international players through. We've a couple in the under-21 team. We've a couple in the under-21, under-20 team and under-19 team. There's loads of talent here.
Smith has said his goodbyes to the players and thanked the fans. Now time will tell if Eddie Thompson has made the right decision.
Well, Falkirk manager Ian McCall has emerged as the fans' favourite to take over at Dundee United. McCall, whose Falkirk side currently top the First Division, is one of several names being linked with the vacant post. Having performed miracles with cash-strapped clubs like the old Airdrie and now with Falkirk, Ian McCall's established a reputation as one of the hottest managerial talents in Scottish football. Despite losing to Arbroath at the weekend, his Bairns side are currently 6 points clear at the top of the First Division. Invariably, his ability to achieve success on a shoestring budget has alerted a host of SPL clubs, with Dundee United believed to have installed him as their top target.
Well, I've got a short lead in my head at the moment, but obviously there's no way I could quote on this. We've got to go through the proper channels, contacting the individual club chairman and take it on from there. But as far as I can see, the people I'm looking for at the moment are employed in Scottish football.
When North Tonight contacted McCall, he refused to dismiss the prospect of a move to Tannadice, choosing instead to make a cautious no comment. Inverness Caledonian Thistle manager Steve Patterson could also fit the bill. He's another man who's had reasonable success with no money and against a backdrop of considerable boardroom disruption. So whether it's McCall, Patterson or someone else, the club hope to be in a position to name Alex Smith's successor in the next couple of days. Well, joining me now in our Dundee studio is the chairman of the Federation of Dundee United Supporters Clubs, Mike Burridge. Mike, just who do the fans want to replace Alex Smith?
Well, I think the fans are looking for a young, enthusiastic manager who has a bit of a track record, who can generate some stimulus such that the players can respond to it. We need someone who can motivate the players, these young players, to do better than they're performing at present.
Now, the names that have been linked are Steve Patterson, Ian McCall, both guys with a pedigree in the lower divisions but not in the SPL. Do you think appointing a guy like this could be a bit of a gamble?
Not really. I think we've been down the road before of trying people who are completely unproven in terms of managerial experience, like Billy Kirkwood, plus others that did have experience like Paul Sturrock. I think the qualities of the individual are much, much more important rather than the previous teams that they've managed. And of course, both these guys have managed teams which are not sort of exactly brimming with resources, and they've done exceptionally well with very, very limited resources.
Finally, how do you think Alex Smith's time at Dundee United will be remembered?
I think he'll be remembered fondly for keeping the team in the Premier Division during a very turbulent season. He did exceptionally well to do that. And he'll also be remembered for bringing an awful lot of young players through into the team and giving them their first opportunity, first team football. many players who I think will go on and play for Scotland in the future.
Mike, thanks a lot for joining us.
Thank you.
And a short time ago, Falkirk confirmed that Dundee United have asked them for permission to speak to Ian McCall. However, Bayern's chairman, Campbell Christie, says they'll fight any move by the Tannadice club to lure their man north.
Clearly he's our head coach, and we want to keep him here. We haven't really had a long conversation. I'll want to do that either later this evening or tomorrow, just to ascertain what his position is. But he certainly has agreed with me that he won't have any conversations with anyone without first of all making sure that the club were happy with that.
After 2 years and 99 games in charge at Dundee United, Alex Smith has been sacked by new chairman Eddie Thompson. He's already asked Falkirk for permission to speak to their boss Ian McCall, but the Brockville side have turned him down. Jim Spence reports on the day's events.
Eddie Thompson walked in this door 12 days ago as the new United owner. 12 days later, Alex Smith walks out, his managerial time at Dundee United at an end. Now the hunt for his successor begins. The names in the frame: Ian McCall of Falkirk and Steve Patterson of Inverness Cally Thistle among the main men to be considered. At today's media conference, the new chairman Eddie Thompson began the reshaping of Dundee United. He's looking to bring fresh ambition to the club and hopes to have his new man in place by the end of the week.
I'm probably looking for a younger person who wants to prove himself in some way, who will have his own personal goals, bring to some degree back some further vigour, enthusiasm and excitement to Tannadice Park, and produce some results that will produce some more fans on the terracing for us.
Thompson said he had to draw a line somewhere. That line was crossed on Saturday at Easter Road as he watched Hibs score twice through Gary O'Connor and Ian Murray. Stephen Thompson pulled one back, but by then Alex Smith's fate was sealed. Smith's been around a long time in the game, but his departure today was still emotional.
When we were sorting out all the mess and we were getting beat with everybody, the support was great. And they hung in. And when we turned it, it was them and the players. So I want to thank them for that.
I can reveal that United have today contacted Falkirk but have been refused permission to speak to Ian McCall. The battle for one of Scotland's hottest managerial talents is now underway.